breaking someone that is on the last yard line, that has lost all their power. They've lost all their leverage over people. They've lost every ounce of leverage over Russia. Right now, I want you to watch. Obama's going to Russia. Well, he told him he's going to take missiles out of Poland. He's going to talk about that. Well, he can't really do that. But at the same time, he's got to have Russia's okay U.S. military presence in certain countries so they can resupply Afghanistan. If the Russians don't okay us to use a certain handful of air bases, we can't resupply Afghanistan easily. In fact, it becomes near impossible. So he's got to go there and beg them for some use of some airfields so he can resupply Afghanistan. At the same time, he can't get rid of the missile-based plans for Poland without looking too weak. But at the same time, he promised them that he was going to do something like this. So what do you do? What do you do against Russians right now? I mean, the Russians walked in, according to you, they poisoned people in London. Poisoned them. Poisoned high operatives. Someone very critical to a certain banking sector, banking class. You know, someone in a particular group, a clan, called the Rothschilds, whatever. He's attached to them. Just knocked them out. Killed them. That's what they say. They say the Russians killed them. But you can't do anything about it. If I can walk in your country and kill at will, and you can't do anything about it, you're in trouble. You know, and by the way, when it comes down to Anglosphere and the history of Anglosphere, the history of British Empire, if you walk in London killing people, and they're going to war, they're going to send us to war. When Hitler starts doing something, they're going to get that big American Aryan tack dog to come and help them. They're going to blackmail us in or get us in somehow, and that's what they did, didn't they? But think about it. If you can walk in and build something in America's backyard, it's because someone in America is tired of something. Probably a combination. But one thing it is that a group is losing power. That's the only thing you can determine. These banking clans are losing power. People attached to the Federal Reserve are losing power. I'm going to go into the arguments about money. I'm going to give you a lowdown on that, but my 2 cents about these two different banking ideals and how they came about and how we've been at war over this stuff time immemorial. But one side is going down. It doesn't matter if the Russians did do it or they didn't do it. It tells you something. You've got to open up your eyes on this stuff, but it tells you something. It's happening right in front of your face. They're losing power. When someone's losing power like that and you have a common sense of impression among non-victims, well, all you got to do is goose it. All you got to do is stay on a consistent message, and it just sucks the energy right out of them. But the Russians, you know, like I said, if Iran were to walk in and poison someone in London, or even if London could accuse Iran of poisoning someone, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, use your head. Yeah, it'd be a war. You know, Saddam Hussein, they lied and said he had weapons of mass destruction, and you know, Anglosphere's at war with Saddam. You're talking about someone walking in and poisoning you in London. They accused him of it. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. But if they did do it, well, what does that tell you? I mean, if they didn't do it, well, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. It backfired. Nor did they go to war over it. They couldn't do anything over it. Georgia was a serious mistake. I mean, Georgia just got Russia back in. Russia's basically taken over Georgia. The Ukraine is now totally falling apart. The coalition is now busted. Yeah, it's going to, any day it'll make headlines news that's completely dissolved. They got to go to elections. So Russia's just hammering them, and that's German soft power as well, because Russians and Germans have a lot of going on. But in South America, just crushing them. I mean, what's going on here? So if they did poison someone, really what they're telling you and what they're telling me is we can do anything we want to do. Anyone there wants to make a move, make a move. That's what they're telling groups behind the scene. If the Russians didn't do it, what it tells you is the people running Anglosphere, well, they can go after a small target, they can cause problems in Georgia or try to, but they ain't got no power. They're in trouble, right? They're in trouble. That's just common sense. It's very logical, because if someone in London's getting poisoned and they can't go to war, that's the first time in the history of modern Anglosphere something like that could happen. I mean, you're not dealing with a bunch of Chamberlains or anything like that. These people look for war on any excuse whatsoever. And in my opinion, that's one of the dangerous things right now. They may have to do something big and drastic just to get themselves out of trouble. Because when I tell you that there's groups that'll run them through the ground in tribunals and hang them in front of the world, I'm not kidding. And they're not American either, and they're not English. What they will put them in tribunals, no problem. Yeah, Russia will have no problems lending Russian judges, and you've seen what they can do. Yeah, they'll have no mercy. But keep your eyes open. This meeting between Obama and Russia, Obama doesn't have any power. Yeah, he cannot have power, and they may humiliate him. I don't know, but he can't go back on his deals in Poland without and save face with the Russians. At the same time, how is he going to ask the Russians for permission to use air base in Afghanistan if he doesn't have anything to negotiate with? I mean, they've basically broken Anglosphere in half. The Chinese have also played a role in this. Sure, they have. I'll tell you how with banking stuff. But the Chinese play a lot of sides of the ball. They don't want to get wiped out. Why this crew goes down? Yeah, crew's going down, but that event in London told me two things. One, if they did it, well, anyone can make a move. I mean, if they can't defend themselves with the Russians walking in backdoor poisoning someone in front of the world, that's comedy. And if they didn't do it, but Anglosphere is accusing them of that, but yet they can't back it up with just some little BS thing in Georgia, well, they're weak too. They're weak either way you look at it. They're desperately weak. They're in trouble. They're in huge trouble. You couple that with a full-blown economic collapse that they're just holding up by a thread. They got problems. They have galactic problems, I guess you could say. But that's the end of this episode of Follow the White Rabbit. And I hope some of these anecdotes, tidbits, whatever, prove useful and get you interested in practical politics, get you on a consistent message, or at least point you in the direction of the fifth position, the end of wordism. This is the end of another episode of Follow the White Rabbit. Follow the White Rabbit, again, is a game that will teach you practical politics. Practical politics is practical because it is non-voting, which makes it very, very practical. Conventional politics is voting politics or rule-based politics. And the ultimate, of course, is full-spectrum practical politics, engaging and taking down an opponent, a system, by any means necessary, within the rules, within the law, but never breaking them. And this is the end of another episode of Follow the White Rabbit. Thank you for listening.